We're starting a brand new week in our John Bible reading plan, and all this week we're just reading about one story. It's the wedding in Cana. And Matt, me, Hannah, each of us are going to give you kind of a different picture of this one story. But today I just want to set the stage for this section of John that we're reading, because there are two things that I think are really helpful to know. I like for things to be organized. That's how I understand things, when I can put them in boxes and kind of understand the structure of things. And so I hope maybe that will be helpful for you too. We're in what is called in John the book of the signs. It starts here in chapter 2 with this first sign, the wedding at Cana, and it's going to go all the way through chapter 20, which is the death of Jesus. The book of signs is named such because it contains 7 signs. And there's a little bit of back and forth about what's actually a sign and what's not a sign, but you can tell when you're reading that you're reading about a sign, because most of the time John is going to just come right out and say, hey, this is a sign. So what is a sign? What does it even mean for something to be called a sign? A sign is simply a symbol. It's a way of metaphorically explaining something about Jesus, something about who he is or what he's come to do that is particularly meaningful for us and for the people who would have originally been reading this gospel. And so when you put all of these signs together, what you see are 7 pictures of who Jesus is, what he came to do. It's like looking at a diamond, and you look at it through all the different facets, and together it paints this complete portrait of who Jesus was. There are 7 signs. 7 is the number of completion in Hebrew writing. So that's kind of the overall structure, but I want to make this real for us a little bit too. These signs were ways for people to experience who Jesus was. They're miraculous moments, symbolic moments. Have there been those times for you? What are the times you look back on in your life and see whether it was something really big and miraculous or even just something small that revealed a little bit more to you about who Jesus is? There are a ton of moments I could point to in my own life like this, but one strikes me in particular today. I remember being in high school, and my family and I, we'd all just gotten into a big fight. I think it was mainly my older sister and I. And we were living in an apartment, and so I went outside on the balcony and I closed the door, and I just sat there and I was stewing in my anger. And after a while, I remember praying to God and just saying, God, if you want me to go back inside and make things right, would you just show me? Would you give me a sign? And lo and behold, I swear to you, the door just blew open. Oh, it was not like totally open, just a fraction of it, just heard it creak and the door blew open. And for me, it was not only a sign that God was answering my question, yeah, go back inside. You need to make things right. Don't leave things like this with your family. But as a high school student, for me, it was also a sign that revealed a little bit more about who God was, who Jesus was. Not only is he the creator of the universe, as we learned about when we read the prologue, but he's also a God that cares about each and every one of us. God cares about the world, yes, but he also cares about you and me enough to be present in our little moments, our little fights, day in and day out. What are the signs for you? What are those moments where you look back in your life and you see God at work in such a way that it reveals a little bit about who Jesus is or who God is? I hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.